Hello and welcome back to my channel, Thrifty Day. On today's episode, I'm going to be telling you how to get ephemera in a world that just doesn't have ephemera anymore. It used to be that everything was a business card or paper or flyers or brochures, and now I feel like that's harder and harder to get. So sometimes when you're looking for ephemera to put into your journal, especially personal ephemera, it's harder and harder to find. So how do we find ephemera in a modern world? I think one of the first steps is printing out your tickets. More and more tickets are a Q code or sent to you via email. So a great way to provide a memory for your experience is to print out those tickets that are sent to you via email. I did that here for the Bob Baker Marionette Show. You can see it right at the top, and it even had a cute little graphic for the Halloween Spooktacular. It was still my personal ephemera. I just had to go the extra step to print it out. Another thing I love to do is save my receipts. Now, I know receipts aren't as colorful and certainly not as fun, but they are always dated and they're very specific in what you purchased. For instance, I just stuck my receipts from my birthday layout into a pocket that I made, but as I go back to this layout in the future, I'll be able to see where we went to dinner on my birthday, things I purchased, and that will be a really fun personal memory for me. The next way I create personal ephemera for my journal is to print out sweet, funny, or meaningful text messages from friends and family. This creates such a sweet and simple layout because I print them on sticker paper, I stick them directly into my journal, and that is an instant memory for me. I also love to save packaging or branding from takeout. It doesn't matter to me if they're a large chain like In-N-Out or Chipotle or a smaller chain like La Monarca or Wolfie's. I love to put them in my journal. It sparks a memory and it's special to me. Another sweet and simple way to commemorate a memory is just to grab a leaf or a flower from wherever you are, stick it in between a couple of books for a few days, and you will have an instant memory in the form of a dried flower or a piece of foliage. So now I'm going to show you how I would use a piece of ephemera that I printed out on my inkjet printer. It is a poem that was written by my daughter, so it's extremely meaningful to me. But you can do a letter, you can pick your favorite poem from a book, you can print anything out on your inkjet printer. You could even just do your journaling on a typewriter or a printer and stick it into your journal, and that can be a very meaningful piece of personal ephemera for you. So like I said, this was printed out just on a printer. I went ahead and distressed the edges with my Tim Holtz Distress ink, and now I'm going to use these lovely flower stickers because the particular poem I am putting in my journal is about flowers. I'm going to use all of these beautiful flowers from the sticker book that Abby gave me for my birthday years ago, and I'm going to create a collage. It's not going to be perfect. I'm just sort of haphazardly sticking all of these stickers around the poem, and then I will have a beautiful collage at the end. As I continue to create this collage, I'll just chat with you a little bit about how it is, in my opinion, getting harder and harder to find personal ephemera. In a world where almost everything is sent via email or via app, I think that it has become more challenging for us creative journalers to find personal ephemera. But I guess in that challenge, there could be fun. We could look at it as a bit of a treasure hunt. And I do feel like I'm utilizing my home printer a lot more. If you have any ideas about how and where you find your ephemera, please leave them in the comments below because I'm always looking to scout and find ways. Of course, I go to thrift stores and estate sales, and I use a lot of vintage products in my journaling because it's fun and they're nostalgic. But to find that personal ephemera has become a bit more of a challenge. But I really enjoy when I do have something like this poem by my daughter that's super inspirational, because I can really put it on into my journal, and it also can utilize my gifts as a collager and as a crafter and as a journaler to kind of merge our creativity, which is something that I really loved about this particular page and this particular layout especially. So now that I have all of these beautiful stickers on here, I am going to just trim them up. I could have just folded them onto the other side of the page, but to be honest, I don't know if any of you have this particular sticker book, but these stickers aren't really sticky, so they don't often stay. So I thought what I would do is trim them up And then if I needed to, I could even add a little bit of PVA glue underneath the ones that maybe don't stick quite as well to the page. So that's why I did that. And I'm just, as you can see, trimming them all up. Once I flip that page back over, I'm also going to get out a little bit of washi tape and a little bit more of my distress ink, just to add a bit of an aged look. I don't know. I love these stickers, and they're all very kind of vintage antique-y looking, which I love. So I'm just sort of helping them along in that look. I'm using Tim Holtz Distress ink. I believe it's called Vintage Photo. That's the color I use. And the dabber is also Tim Holtz. I use this particular product a lot. I think it adds a nice finished look, especially if you're looking for that vintage, overall vintage look. So as you can see, not only do I do the outer rim, I also will go through and put it on top of the stickers very lightly and on top of the poem again very lightly. So this is some washi tape. I purchased it at Michael's. They had a whole little floral pack, so I bought the whole pack, and I just put that right down the center so that the poem wouldn't lift, and any of those stickers on that inside crease wouldn't lift either. And now I'm using my vintage style label maker, and I just wrote that the poem was by Abby, and she actually wrote it at the very end of 2022, so I was sure to put that date on there as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful and insightful. If you are looking for longer tutorials, journal tutorials, step-by-step tutorials, please look to follow me on Patreon. All of that information is linked down below. All of the tiers on Patreon also come with Happy Mail from me every month, so it's a great place to be if you are a crafter or a journaler. Thanks so much for following and liking this video. Have a really good day, everyone. Bye.